We talk about governmental corruption a lot on our show. We talk about tax dollars being wasted on our show. What I'm coming to understand now is you have the CIA, the DEA, all these three-letter organizations that are being funded by our tax dollars. And you have the CIA talking about the cartel, saying, you know what? Oh, you know what? We're going to go after the cartel and we're going to take them out. And we have this organization called the DEA. We're going to send the DEA out there and they're going to handle all this stuff. But at the same time, the CIA is working with the DEA. The DEA is going after the cartel, but the cartel is working with the CIA. So it's a full circle back and forth, wasting our money, making the rich become richer and the poor become poorer. So this is all corruption at its finest. And it's happening right in front of our eyes, but we're all blinded by it because we think the CIA, the FBI, and all these three-letter organizations are our heroes.
That's correct. The CIA and the DEA have never worked hand in hand. Why? Because the CIA's got one mission, and there's to protect our national security, and they do not work under the U.S. Constitution. They are not a law enforcement agency. They are an intelligence agency. Now, the DEA works under the Department of Justice, which is a law enforcement agency. So basically, you have both agencies working in foreign countries abroad, and one is doing one thing and the other agency is doing another thing. Here's the DEA trying to arrest these cartel guys and stop drugs from coming in, and the CIA is working the cartel guys, bringing drugs in to support wars and other basically other priorities. I was brought in and talked to by the CIA, and they told me, listen, Hector, we're not bad guys. We don't work under the U.S. Constitution. Understand that. We have to protect the national security of our country, and we do what we got to do because the Russians don't work under our Constitution. The Chinese don't work under our Constitution. So therefore, we cannot be bound by constitutional law. We do what we got to do in foreign countries to protect our national security. The problem is that the CIA now is involved in everything domestically too. They're all over the place, and they don't have jurisdiction inside the country. And the DEA, they're trying to do what they can do to basically curb the drugs from coming in and arrest the drug dealers, and the CIA is working with them. That's a mess.
How is that? I mean, the CIA was created to protect us from foreign countries, but yet, even when Freeway Rick Ross was on our show, as you mentioned earlier too, he was the one who brought cocaine to LA. I asked him the question. I said, "So the CIA is basically your business partner?" He said, "Yes." So how is that relevant to the duty of the CIA to be involved in drug dealings in the U.S.? I mean, overseas, fine. Maybe you can justify it as far as, well, we're involved because we're trying to find out who's selling arms to what country, and they typically will do it through drug channels and whatnot. But you're talking about in LA, you're pretty much the head honcho of all the drug dealers as the CIA. How do you justify that?
Well, here's the problem, and I saw it with DEA. Here, the CIA is bringing in tons of cocaine, plane loads with tons of cocaine, plane loads with 20 tons of cocaine. We, the DEA, are seizing them and arresting the CIA pilots and operatives. Then we get a call from Washington and say, turn them loose. That's a CIA operation.
Oh, fuck.
And we're ordered to turn them loose from our Washington supervisors. So we turn them loose. And then they tell me, Hector Berrellez, go arrest that Mexican guy with 10 ounces so we can put him away for 30 years. I'm having trouble doing my job.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I know the CIA is selling the stuff, that they're going to sell those 20 tons of cocaine. They're going to give it to Freeway Ricky Ross so he can distribute it to the Bloods and the Cribs. But yet they want me to arrest some black guy over there selling 10 ounces. So therefore, it was a real head job on me thinking, wait a minute, I'm going to go risk my life to arrest this Blood or whatever, or Crib, and go undercover and try to seize 10 ounces from him when our CIA is providing the 20 tons to them. They're the ones distributing all the drugs, and they're distributing them to support a war. So you can see at the end of my career, I had my hard time wrapping my mind around this. I mean, how can they order me to go arrest some poor white guy or Armenian or whoever drug dealer with 20 ounces of coke or a pound of heroin when they're bringing in tons?
So how do you continue to work for the government knowing all this? Because I'm sure you're not the only one out there, only DA agent or FBI agent or law enforcement officer who knows this. How does one stay motivated thinking I'm fighting for the good guys when the good guys you supposedly are fighting for are the biggest bad guys in the world? How do you continue to stay committed, risk your life every day? I mean, you're retired now. At some point, obviously, that was probably one of the reasons you retired. But I would think even other DA agents or law enforcement officers learning about your story and learning about Kiki's story are going to be like, man, fuck this shit. Like, what am I risking my life for? Because it's a tough life. I mean, you're away from your family 7, 8, 9 months out of the year on top secret type of what do you call them operations, and for what?
That's exactly where I ended up. At the end, I ended up thinking, what am I doing here? What should I go arrest some guy for 10 ounces of heroin or coke or whatever, and he's going to end up getting 10, 15 years, destroy his life, when the people that he's getting it from are our own government. And it's no secret. I mean, the CIA had a hard time denying the fact that they inundated Los Angeles with cocaine, causing the cocaine epidemic of the 80s, where all these coke babies were being born addicted to coke. They destroyed a whole bunch of people by making them drug addicts, and they didn't care because they had another mission. That was to fight the communism in other countries. So if they had to become drug dealers to get the money to support a war that was not authorized by Congress, they figured that it was okay. And they told me, we have other priorities. We can do this. We're doing it for a bigger good, is what they told me. You understand that? You know, you're just a drug agent. We have a bigger picture. We have a bigger mission, and that's the national security of our country. We don't want communism in South America. At the same time, look at what's going on right now. Let's bring it now. I mean, the situation in Mexico has gotten worse. We destroyed the Guadalajara cartel. We got Felix Gallardo in custody. We got Fonseca arrested. We got Caro Quintero. He's still locked up right now. And we destroyed the cartel. So what happens? Other cartels sprung up. Now you have the Nueva Generación cartel. You have the Sinaloa cartel. And they're bringing in all these drugs. Our border is open.
Oh, it's still open?
The border's still open until hopefully Donald Trump gets in there Monday and starts doing something about it. All these illegals are coming in. Not only just drug dealers, terrorists are coming in. They're not vetting anybody. They just let anybody come in. And don't tell me that somebody here isn't being greased by the cartels to keep the border open. Look at all the fentanyl that's coming in.